Hello, welcome to the Brewing Labs. Your host LevDev is ready to provide some opportunity for some creative deck brewing within the MTG arena. Now, for this deck, as the name kind of entails, it's kind of a very painful deck. Also, a nickname I like to give the deck is from Grace the Pain or something like that, but essentially what it is it's a deck that runs around Font of Agonies, a one-cost enchantment from Guilds of Ravnica, which says whenever you pay life, note pay, not lose life, put that many blood counters on Font of Agonies. 1 in the black, remove 4 blood counters from Font of Agonies, destroy target creature. So, this one is a really interesting card to brew around. Because we have to focus on cards that are essentially quote unquote pay life, but not lose life. Like, for example, we can't play cards quote unquote that make you lose life. I think probably the best example to show for this one is one of the cards I originally was thinking about putting in the deck, which was... Actually, I think it's better that we just show this off with life in general. So, go to this. Where is it? Dreadhorde Invasion. Nope, not in the deck. There we go, Dreadhorde Invasion. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life and amass 1. So you think that since you're kind of getting a benefit out of it, you're technically still paying life, but no, you're losing the life. It's not pay, it's lose. So what does it mean by paying life? Actually, we have a couple of cards that do that. For example, one of the probably the more popular 2-drops that I have not put in this deck because I wanted to make it quote-unquote rotation friendly was a Dauntle Vanguard. A Dauntle Vanguard, 1 in a white, 1/1. As long as it's attacking, it gets +2/+0. Notice though, it says to get its indestructibility, you can activate it by paying 4 life. So for this deck, we have to focus on rotation-proof cards that you pay life with, which is a really tricky process until I remembered from Ravnica Allegiances, there's a card called Final. Actually, I think they both came from Ravnica Allegiances. Guilds of Ravnica, Ravnica Allegiances, you kind of get a brain fart from time to time. Anyway, Final Payment. White and a black. As additional cost to cast this spell, pay 5 life, or sacrifice a creature or enchantment. Destroy a target creature. So, as you can see here, a cost that we can do for this spell, usually people like to try this in aristocrat decks to just essentially get aristocratic benefits. Here, we're actually getting the benefit from the paying life aspect of it, since we can turn 1 Font of Agonies, hold up Final Payment on turn 2, to get 5 counters on this. Boom, that's automatically quick 4 counters, which then helps us to set this up for removal of any problematic creatures. Now, the problem is, since we're kind of going into this life loss shenanigans, I need to put cards that both benefit from it, as well as cards that help us gain life gain. One of the best 1-drops for the deck is Knight at the Even Ledge. Honestly, one of the perfect 1-drop for vampire decks in general, but this is just perfect because every time we're losing life, which we're hoping to lose a lot with stuff like Final Payment, etc., this thing just will get bigger. So, it actually will get bigger if we are on the aggressive, so to speak, and make an opponent lose 4 life, it gets bigger. If we get on the defensive and use a removal spell to lose 5 life, it gets bigger. So it is one of the better spells to play in this deck. I also put Free of Duress in the deck because, honestly, there's a lot of Planeswalkers / also just interaction spells currently within the best of 1 meta, so I figured mainboard Duresses was actually probably one of the better ideas. Now, another method of life gain that we have in the deck is Blood Operative. A really great card. 1 black and a black, Vampire Assassin. It has lifelink, which is what we want, but it also has, when it enters the battlefield, you may exile target card from a graveyard, so Graveyard Hate, which is pretty nifty. However, it also has a beneficial effect when it's in the graveyard, which is, whenever you surveil, if Blood Operative is in your graveyard, you may pay free life. If you do, return this card to your hand. So, it is also another pay outlet that we can use to fuel Font of Agonies, which is really nifty. It's both a way to help us gain life, it's also a way to help us lose life, which is weirdest thing to say recently. We also put Midnight Reaper in here as a semi-card draw engine. Just pretty much any time if our creatures die, we will lose a life and draw a card. Yet again, The creature itself will deal 1 damage to us, so it's not life being paid, it's life lost. Keep that in mind. We also put Ovakaya as a early to mid-range removal spell for any problematic permanents slash creatures. Plus, it allows us to gain life, which helps us to pretty much pay the life loss that we have. But Devil is just in here as a 2 of, mostly just to deal with problematic creature or planeswalkers. Deafening Clarion as a good board wipe. But also, since we have a lot of bigger creatures in the deck, we could also use the gain life link aspect of the deck to help us gain back life. Kalias and a Seeker. You'll notice that in our later curve, we have a lot of demons and angels, so just using this to just draw 1 card is nice. But also, it could just be used as just a free that has Flying Vigilance, which is really nice. Price of Fame is just nice in here because it is... Like, there's some people, it's a great rotation-proof removal spell, but also it surveils, which helps us fuel our Blood Operative shenanigans, so that's really nice. Kaya's Wrath just as our board wipe for the deck. Seraph Scales is one of the late-game angels we put in the deck. Sorin Vengeful Bloodlord's just in there because it gives our creatures lifelink, which helps us gain back life that we lose from our pain life shenanigans. And at the top end, Doom Whisperer, which is just great late-game bomb. Just a 5-mana sit-sits, flying trample, and hey, it has that nifty clause we need, which is paying life to Surveil 2, which both helps fuel Font of Agonies, as well as Blood Operative. Now, there's probably one little notice that people are probably going to ask me about, and I'm just going to get it out of the way. Let's just get this out of the way. Why did I, if I'm going into the pay life shenanigans, weird shenanigans, why am I not playing Villa's Broker of Blood? It seems like amazing in the deck. It is an 8/8 flying, and also whenever I lose life, I draw that many cards. This could be just such a good card draw engine. Why are you not playing this? It also has a pay 2 life. Why? Honestly, it just costs too much. It literally is the reason why I'm not playing it. It just costs too much. Now, if I designed this to be either A, more into an Absalom variation of the deck, where I have ramp spells, like ramp enchantments, such as, for example... ones I could think of right off the bat is, say, the one that gives you life when you attach to a land. I always get the names of these cards wrong, so forgive me in advance. Let me get to it. If I played like a Gift of Paradise, per se, I could see that argument. And I'm not sure. Did Gift of Paradise rotation? Yeah, it is rotation proof. So yeah, I could make an Absalom variation of this deck and try to get into a ramp kind of shenanigans to try to get into villas and go off. But at the moment, this is kind of a case of, and I've been trying to follow an advice of one of my local game store kind of like hosts when doing deck brews, which is, don't try to win more. Try to get to the basics of your win condition and not feel like you have to add more to win for the current condition. And honestly, this deck is just purely a mid-range control deck that tries to win by a Doom Whisperer or just a decent little flyer or an aggressive early drop. So... I'm trying to be simple. I am not trying to be win more. We're going to see how this being simple with the deck design, other than using a 1-cost enchantment that has really painful implications, shall be. As for the lands, it sits plains, sits swamps, 4 Godless Shrines. Also nifty thing about the shock lands is you pay life when you make them into untap, so it benefits Font of Agony, Blood Crypt, and Sacred Foundry. So that is how the deck is going to run. Let us go through some painful gameplay, shall we? Though now, I really kind of am tempted to make a Reanimator share out of this deck, potentially, if I don't want to go with the Angel Demon sub-archetype. Anyway, we're going against Oni. Kind of ironic, since we're running demons in the deck, so... Anyway, let's see here. We got a Knight of the Even Ledge. We got good lands. We got our decent turn 1, but I'm going to mulligan this because we were looking for more early game interaction. This is a good one, don't get me wrong, but I'm looking more for like early game removal and Sacred and the Font of Pain, essentially, Font of Agony. I always get the name of that card wrong. Anyway, we're going to mulligan. We got a Font of Agonies, but We're going to mulligan just one more time. Okay, this is the best compromise hand we can keep. We have a turn free Ophakaya to answer a 2-drop. And if we get a... we can just toss the Bedevil and the Doom Whisperer and just go on the Ophakaya plan. So we're going to do that. Toss, toss. And hope we draw into our pieces. Look like they're playing... life gain shenanigans? I can't remember if this deck is more of a Mardu life gain deck or if it's just a... okay, it looks like a feather deck. This could be problematic. But we got our board wipe. So now we just need to get a land. Ooh. If we can get a mountain, it would be perfect here. We can just board wipe and protect ourselves. We're just going to potentially die to not having a land drop. Splendid. The good news, though, is if we do get the mountain, we should be able to stabilize pretty quick. Nope. Okay. That was kind of a bad start, but hey. When you go against an aggro deck and you don't have an early game answer, I'm almost tempted to put, like, Defile or Shock in the deck, if I'm being honest. But, for now, we're going to try this out. Okay, we're going to get Scrata? Okay, so I'm going to try this hand out because we do have the one mountain and the swamp and a Knight of Leaping Edge. It's kind of hard because it is also that case of we need to get a third land, but... oh, no. That usually means a mono-red burn that is trying to protect their permanents for shenanigans, so... oh, boy. Okay, we're going to play this untapped. Play the Knight. Probably feed it into a Shock, most likely, or a Lightning Strike. Not at the moment, but the good news is, and the perfect news, we got our third land, which is perfect. We're going to do that. Though this might benefit us in the longer run, because if they do try to do significant burn damage... ew. Oh, wait. Well, while we're not going to gain life from this, we can at least deal with Tibble. They'll block, and then do the shock damage redirected to the Knight of the Even Ledge. I don't mind that. Especially since now we have the fourth land, so we can pretty much be alright. Yeah, this is your typical mono-red aggro shenanigans. Though that could be potentially very problematic. I think I'm going to play the Blood Operative here. Yeah, Tybalt can go bye-bye from the graveyard. We're going to play a Blood Crypt tapped. Okay, that works. So, we're going to just swing in, see if the opponent responds. Do they block? They do not. So, we're just going to play a Seraph of the Scales. And see what happens. We still have a pretty good chance with this against the current matchup, but they could play something pretty problematic. They're mono-red, so... well, actually, as annoying as that actually is beneficial to us in the long run. That's actually... especially with the life gain, so... oh, it's a goblin deck! So, mono red goblin shenanigans? Interesting. So, we're just going to chump block here. Because life in this case is very valuable to us, so we don't necessarily want to lose it unless we absolutely have to. I guess they're deciding whether or not to shark the blood operative is my guess. They're thinking on it. Well, there's the mutiny. It's kind of interesting. You don't usually see people play mutiny in Constructed, so it's always a pleasant surprise when somebody does. But nevertheless, we still have a game plan for this. Phew. And duress is kind of pointless at the moment, so yeah, they're a mono red goblin deck, which I can respect that. It's usually fun to see people try out their tribes. I wonder if they're running stuff like that tribal glass card from M20 and stuff like that. I can respect that. Okay, so we got our Doom Whisperer, which is just a good bomb in general. They might... Okay, so... That's good. We have removal for the Goblin Dark Dweller. We should just be able to win from Doom Whisperer alone. Doe? We could just make sure our next draw is nifty. I think it's best that we pay into that little temptation. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, that was a good idea. Okay. And then the best part is we can pay free life, bring it back to our hand. Do we want to do that? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we can do that. So we're going to pay the free life, bring it back to our hand, pay 2 more life again. Yeah. We like it like that. I think we'll keep it like that. So we're going to play the Blood Operative. Probably just the Lord. Probably just... I mean, I don't remember any mono-red reanimated spells, but you never know. So we're just going to attack in. And just see what the opponent got top-decked. Because now the opponent is kind of, ooh, I think we got this game. Yeah, because all we have to do is, yeah, even the opponent kind of realizes this, so... Victory against mono-red goblins. And we got some experience. Nifty! Anyway, let us play some more of the painful deck. Shall we? We're going against Buck Swanson, I believe is the name. Okay. That sounds really tempting, because we got an Ophakaya. If we draw a mountain, we could just definitely Clarion. I'm going to mulligan this one out of curiosity. Okay, a lot better hand. We have a turn 1 Font of Agonies. We can just shock ourselves. Or even not, and just deafening Clarion. I like this hand a lot better. Now the question is, do we want to keep the Seraph? I think we could toss the Kaya's Wrath since we have stuff like Deafening Clarion as our early game board removal. So we're going to shock ourselves, play the Font of Agonies, and hopefully finally now show off why this card is pretty nifty in some circumstances. Look like we're going against potentially vampires, so we're just going to shock ourselves. Put some counters on this, and the next time we play a shock land, we can just board wipe and just have spot removal against a problematic creature. Ooh, now this is where the temptation comes. We could just Deafening Clarion, but we could just Final Payment and put 5... Yeah, I like that. we're going to pay the 5 life, and then put 5 more counters on that. And, you know what? Let's pay more life. Let's do that. Let's see what our opponent... Can our opponent kill us with 2 black mana at 8 life with a Font of Agonies? As far as I'm aware, there is no mono black enchantment removal, so we should be in the clear after that move. We're going to play a Serral for the Scales. They're probably going to murder it. There's the murder. At least we get some spirits out of it. That's also one of the reasons why Serral the Scales is just a really good card. Just the sticky applications of the card is just perfect. Ooh, it's a Dread Presence deck. Yeah, we are not letting that stay alive. So, I think what I'm going to do here is actually, since we have 2 Deafening Clarions, do the lifelink cause this. Just to get a little bit of life back and keep ourselves stabilized. We'll still definitely save the second Deafening Clarion for any problematic creatures we can't answer with a Font of Agonies or a board. Yep. Bye-bye. So yeah, this is definitely mono black, zoo, aggro, depends on how you want to call it. Ooh, now that is perfect. Well, the problem is it doesn't synergize off with the tokens die, but still, just a little insurance policy, just in case if our opponent goes into board wiping shenanigans, is always nice. The opponent's thinking about it. Okay. They probably have another murder in hand, and they're debating whether or not to murder the Midnight Reaper, is what I'm guessing. Ooh, it's a Final Vitality. Wow. Well, good thing that wasn't any bigger, or else we would have been in a bit of a pickle. Do they have any other plays after that finale of Eternity? I would presume so, since, well, maybe they're holding up murder mana. That's probably what they're doing. Anyway, we're going to play Arkelia as Zenith Seeker, just draw into a card. If not, it's just a free fighter that can at least fish for a murder in their hand at the very least. So yeah, we're going to get that one Doom Whisperer that we would really like. And, hey, we got a free that's going to get murdered in 3, 2, 1. Okay, not murdered, but close enough. Okay, there's a Cavalier. We're just going to pay, feed up this, do this. Surveil, which feeds more into this. We're going to put the, well, yeah, let's don't get too tipped in with the land, especially with how low of life we're at. And just destroy that. They can now return a card with mana cost 3 or less. They're going to obviously return that, which is actually really good for them since we lost a lot of life, so... Right? Oh, at the beginning, I always forget that it has to be there in step. We could... Oh, wait. Board wipe. What am I thinking? Yeah, we'll let that through. Plus, we didn't have enough mana to remove it, so... It was a pretty easy choice, all things considered. Okay, now this is where it gets tricky, because we could play the Midnight Reaper. However, we are at currently 1 life, and when this dies, it deals damage to us, so... Well, I think we still have to play it, just to get board presence, and just hope that the opponent didn't top deck removal. What the heck is this card? Savage Gorger. I have not seen this card. Maybe it's from the Vampire deck? Flying. At the beginning of your instep, an opponent lost. Okay, so it's like in a Johnny's Pride Mate. Okay, I gotcha. Well, in a reverse of Johnny's Pride Mate, I guess is the better way to put that card. So we're going to swing in because we are not scared of a 1-1. And we have a blocker that can make more blockers. Okay, so this is kind of a... Well... We're going to give this Vigilance. This is kind of like where you wish you kind of have the lifelink shenanigans. Opponent might be able to just win by the factor that we can't block both of the Savage Gorgers. Ah! Okay, we'll try one more game out because, as you can see, there's some risk to trying this Pain package, aka if you go against more aggro-oriented lists, you might be in a bit of a teeny bit of a pickle. Okay. We're going against Tektite, I believe is the name. We got a Blood Crypt, 2 Knights. Yeah, I think we can keep this hand. We don't unfortunately have any fonts, but a Knight, pretty much turn 1 Knight, turn 2 Knight, turn 3 Midnight Reaper seems pretty good. So we're going to paint ourselves. Play a Knight of the Even Legion. I just now noticed I've been calling that Knight of the Even Ledge. Unintentionally, of course, but still, it's kind of one of those things you kind of catch yourself and you're like, wait a minute, that's not the right phrasing. Okay, it seems like our opponent is playing Boros, which could mean... I'm still going to play this because, yeah, we're probably playing into a Deafening Clarion, but we don't mind drawing some cards, is all I'm just going to say to that. Another play we could have done is hold on the Midnight Reaper, just buffed up one of these to try to get both of them buffed up due to that little ability it has. But at the current moment, our opponent is playing very... either intentionally passive or there's some shenanigans afoot. So we're going to go into attack phase. See if our opponent has a trick up their sleeves. We're going to wait to see if they try to shock one of the Knights of the Even Legions. Because if they do, then they're not. So now we're going to try to do it. That's when they're going to respond with a shock if they can. Which it looks like they don't. So we get some damage. And these gets buffed, which is what we want. So now that Deafening Clarion, I'm going to make a guess. No, just Itzalon's Binding on probably the Knight with the counter. I'm going to make a guess. Yeah, that looks like the case. So, well, I'm not going to play Soren at the moment. Since we could just ping. Let the center and tap. Okay, our opponent is... They gotta have a... Nope, they don't want the board wipe. Okay, so that worked. Splendoroni to the pepperoni. And we got a pack out of it. Nice. Anyway, I think I will end the video for tonight. Anyway, this is the Painful deck. I'll make sure I try to get the deck code in the captions below in the comments. I hope you all have a lovely night. This is LevDev from the Brewing Labs, signing out. Badoo!